Imagine a world that was once called the ninth planet of our solar system, but today it is not even officially considered a planet anymore. It sits at the very edge of our solar system, about 3.7 billion miles away from the sun. So far that sunlight takes 5.5 hours just to reach it. Think about that. Light, the fastest thing in the universe, and it still takes that long. 1 year on Pluto is equal to 248 years on Earth. So if you were born there, you wouldn't even complete one birthday in your entire lifetime. It is freezing cold, so cold that the air itself freezes and falls to the ground. And yet somehow, it has mountains taller than the Rocky Mountains, deep valleys, and a giant heart-shaped plain sitting right on its surface. This place is real, and its name is Pluto. Pluto is a dwarf planet sitting at the very edge of our solar system. It was discovered in 1930 by a 24-year-old astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh. The whole world called it the ninth planet. Kids learned it in school. It was on every chart, every textbook, every poster. But then in 2006, scientists just removed it, just like that. So what actually happened? Why did Pluto lose its planet status after 76 years? And what even is Pluto now? That's exactly what we're going to find out today. So let's go back to 1930. There was a young 24-year-old guy named Clyde Tombaugh. He wasn't even a fully qualified scientist yet, just a hard-working young man sitting in an observatory in Arizona, doing one of the most boring jobs you can imagine, staring at thousands of photos of the night sky, night after night, looking for anything that moved. Because here's the thing, stars don't move, but planets do. So he kept comparing photos, same sky, different nights, and then one day, something moved. That tiny little moving turned out to be Pluto. The date was February 18th, 1930, and just like that, a brand new world was discovered. Now, here's the part that nobody expects. After the discovery, scientists needed a name. People from all over the world started sending in suggestions. Thousands of letters came in, but the winning name, it didn't come from a scientist. It didn't come from a professor or a researcher. It came from an 11-year-old girl. Her name was Venetia Burney. She was sitting at breakfast in Oxford, England, when her grandfather told her about the discovery. And she said, why not call it Pluto? Pluto was the Roman god of the underworld, dark, cold, distant. Just like this new world, her grandfather passed the suggestion along. Scientists loved it, and that's how an 11-year-old girl named an entire world. What Pluto looks like, for decades, nobody actually knew what Pluto looked like. Even our best telescopes could only show it as a tiny blurry dot. For long, we had no idea. Even our most powerful telescopes could only show Pluto as a tiny blurry dot. We literally couldn't see it properly. But then NASA did something incredible. In 2006, NASA launched New Horizons. 9.5 years later, July 14th, 2015, it flew past Pluto. The problem, Pluto is so far away that the journey took 9.5 years. And finally, on July 14th, 2015, New Horizons flew past Pluto and sent back photos. And what we saw completely shocked everyone. Pluto had mountains made of ice, taller than the Rocky Mountains. It had deep valleys, frozen plains, and a giant heart-shaped region sitting right on its surface. Scientists actually named it Tombaugh Regio, after the man who discovered Pluto. The temperature there, around minus 375 degrees Fahrenheit, so cold that even the air, nitrogen gas, freezes and falls to the ground like snow. Nobody expected Pluto to look this complex, this beautiful, this alive. That one mission changed everything we thought we knew about Pluto, what Pluto actually is, and why it was removed. Okay, so now the big question, what exactly is Pluto? Is what scientists call a dwarf planet. Now, that sounds confusing. Is it a planet or not? Let me break it down simply. To be called a full planet, you need to pass 3 rules. First, you must orbit the sun. Second, you must be round in shape. Third, you must have cleared your neighborhood, meaning your gravity must be strong enough to push other objects out of your path. Pluto passes the first 2 rules easily, but the third one, that's where it fails. Pluto is too small and too weak to clear its path. There are tons of other objects floating around it in the same zone, so it sits in a category of its own, a dwarf planet. Now, size-wise, Pluto is tiny, smaller than Earth's moon, fits inside the continental US. It would not even cover the entire country. It also has 5 moons of its own. The biggest one is called Charon, and it is so large compared to Pluto that some scientists call them a double planet system rather than a planet and its moon. So Pluto is small, icy, far away, but honestly, way more interesting than most people give it credit for. Now, this is the part that caused absolute drama in the science world. For 76 years, Pluto was the 9th planet. Every kid learned it in school. It was on every poster, every textbook, every solar system chart. People grew up with Pluto as a planet. It was just a fact. And then in 2006, a group of scientists from the International Astronomical Union sat down and decided to make official rules for what counts as a planet. And when they applied those rules, Pluto failed. It couldn't clear its neighborhood. So just like that, after 76 years, Pluto was officially removed from the planet list. People were furious, and I mean that seriously. The public was angry. Kids wrote letters to NASA. Scientists argued with each other. Some people still refuse to accept it to this day. And honestly, the debate is not fully over. Even today, some scientists argue that the rules were unfair and that Pluto deserves its planet title back. But officially, as of right now, is a dwarf planet, not 9th planet. Just a small icy world sitting quietly at the edge of our solar system. So that is the story of Pluto, discovered by a 24-year-old, named by an 11-year-old, called a planet for 76 years, and then quietly removed from the list in 2006. But here is what I think. Pluto may have lost its title, but it never lost its magic. It is still out there, still orbiting the sun, still covered in ice mountains and frozen plains, still wearing that giant heart on its surface. And maybe that heart is its way of saying it doesn't care what we call it. Now, I want to know what you think. Do you think Pluto deserves to be called a planet again? Or was the decision right? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. If you learned something new today, give this video a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video.